spray paint motorcycle, skeleton in a jacket riding a motorcycle with ape hanger bars, spray painted it onto the wall as art. And then somebody else, God only knows how, had punched about a 2 foot by 3 foot hole in the sculpture.
Oh, that's wild.
So there was this part of a motorcycle, part of a skeleton, and a big hole in the wall. And we were supposed to get up and...
Oh, your joke's there. Well, we're on the way to the ApocaLips Comedy Club, Mike. Raghu Attabatla dropping in. Catherine, you're brand new, so we'll just give you the quick tour. This is the ApocaLips Comedy Show tour bus, and we're headed over to where we keep the comedy show. And we've got a great lineup of comedians and a very funny round robin of jokes. So that's why you see extra comedians popping in. You're seeing our audience load in. They're very excited to see you all here tonight.
Yeah. And there's that couple again.
There's this couple. They got one last
up every week.
Right, one last breakup. They're gonna be able to hold it down at some point.
That's Talk to the Hand and Where You Going?
Right. This Gladys Frolicky, our cashier, just wanted to make sure we said Catherine a mighty thank you. If you notice Fast and Easy checkout, it's because Gladys is fast and easy. And we'll also thank our VIPs. Stacy Sanders, you're here. Thank you for being here. You're a VIP. And Catherine, general admission is up in the balcony. If Gladys told you that and she was a little curt, what can I do? She needs a Sunday off, is what she told me. This is me, Catherine, and then meet Stacy Sanders. She's the executive director of our charity. It's called Elevating Connections. It's not our charity, it's Stacy's. And we help fundraise. 10% of your ticket goes to support Elevating Connections. And Stacy will tell you briefly about what we do at Elevating Connections, and then on with the comedy show.
Hey everyone, and hello, Catherine. Thanks for joining us and for buying a ticket.
This is special.
So we reunite siblings separated in foster care through summer camp and other programming. And then the other piece that we do is we raise youth voice for older youth. And I'll talk a lot more about that a little bit because we have a poetry jam coming up for them. So that's what I'll be talking about.
Awesome. Thank you, Stacy. Appreciate it. So we'll learn more about Elevating Connections during the break, and then just a reminder, we donate 10% to Elevating Connections, even of our private event fees and whatnot. Michael, let's get us over to the comedy club. That's our front row seating, and then up here's the balcony where your friends from Michigan are. Right, not a single vaccine dose delivered up there.
Just taking a quick break from storming the state house in Lansing.
Right. Well, they're good people on all sides. Well, we do have a fun show ahead. There's the curtain, Mike, so we might as well bring out I think these are my favorite people here. This is our host, Mike Langworthy, and then I'm Chuck Roy, the dashing bear on the right. And then I'll try to see if I can.
Chuck always looks like Chuck, and I always look like a combination rich guy from Monopoly and Mr. Peanut. I don't understand. Why do I have to, or actually not Mr. Peanut, I look more like Humpty Dumpty
right.
From Monopoly. And
you put the nap and dapper, my friend.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. I don't know how I got that to work. It technically doesn't work, but I got it to work.
It's that whole, too late, you laughed, fuck you thing. It's a principle of comedy. If you get them to laugh, it doesn't make any difference if it works.
Right. Wow. Cursing there, Mike. I worked a clean show last night. I didn't know it was going to be a clean show until they handed me a broom.
Wow. Okay. I think
Mike, we have more jokes, but our show is sponsored tonight by Vaccines Are Here. They're a terrific sponsor. Not available in all 50 states, Mexico, Canada, India, or Brazil, but Vaccines Are Here. So congratulations to us for getting vaccinated. I feel good. And then we should get to introducing some of our first comedians, Mike. There's probably some jokes to be told. This is where we go to tell them.
Yes,
Right.
it is. We have a wonderful room with a beautiful, although slightly marred view of the Rocky Mountains. That is, of course, Heather Mills' leg.
Hey,
We bought at an auction.
right. That's really my Kennedy Center Award for Innovative Teaching.
Oh, geez, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I didn't. Is that the Carolyn? Shut up! I know how to fly a plane. Kennedy's, is it them?
Yes, it's exactly those Kennedys, like the water under the bridge Kennedys. I'm gonna miss that joke. I'm gonna miss that joke.
He to the day he died, he used Chappaquiddick stick on his lips.
Hello. Right, Mike. Fun show last night. Got home and went out for a drink. Tried that new bar, Orange Theory.
That's not a bar.
That's not a bar, Mike. Turns out the music should have given it away, but they don't even serve like an orange Julius and vodka.
No, don't.
I got us some virtual weed, Mike. These are gifts. I got to clean out the storehouse of gifts. Catherine, you're new. We give away gifts throughout the whole show, so hang out. We've got prizes for you. And then this is some weed left over from the 420 episode. So
good prize.
It's a good prize. We get pretty high. Mike gets look, Mike, we're like galactic high.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes my comedy's a little nebulous, so
Zing.
around.
Mike, turns out Club Pilates is not a gay bar for Spanish pilots.
See, if you would just ask me these questions, Chuck, you wouldn't have to worry about it. I would be able to tell you the answer to these questions.
Right. Mike, turns out
you look
Poke.
like Humpty Dumpty. I can tell you one thing: don't sit on a wall.
Right. Mike, turns out Polk City, also not a gay bar.
Oh no. That's not even how you pronounce it.
Right. Apparently it's a little hoke the way you poke.
You do the hoke poke whenever you.
Right. I was trying to. I took a twink out to dinner and then they're like, that's not what we do here. So I am banned from all three of those places.
Trying to get your twink to have a drink.
Agreed. So Mike, this is fun. We have the first comedian out the bat is a funny little bastard, and right. Speaking of,
I don't mean that literally, by the way, Cal.
Right, he's not actually a bastard, or funny, but we book him on the show regardless. That's not true.
You can say that to me, but you can't say that to me.
Right. Let's just say also a Kennedy Center Award winner, Kennedy Center Award winning playwright. I met him at the Community Collage of Denver. He's a funny comedian here on the Denver comedy scene. Somewhat unique style of performing, and I think you'll grasp. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the ApocaLips, Cal Sheridan.
Yay!
And Cal is fun and funny, and you'll figure out that I'm going to read his material while he performs.
So you're basically a ventriloquist dummy.
Right. No, it's Cal's illiterate. So that's why he can't read, so I have to do it for him.
Cal, I did not prove any of this material about you.
Hi, I'm Cal Sheridan. A lot of comedians miss doing stand-up comedy in 2020, but I don't say my own jokes, and I never stand up, so it's pretty much the same year for me as any. Look, you may not think I have a lot of experiences with dating, but I have plenty of experiences. I have a whole box of chocolates. But Forrest Gump said, you never know what you're going to get. And I've gotten some weird ones, y'all. I was once dumped because the person I was dating was, and I quote, in love with Justin Bieber. And unless you're Selena Gomez, that's not a good look. So I do have high standards for partners, because if Forrest Gump's experience taught me anything about dating as a disabled person, it's be discerning. I choose to not be so immature with my comedy. I choose normally to be more, cerebral. Get it? Like the disease I have. No, but seriously, folks, for the most part, I like to make people think with my comedy. You're supposed to cough there, Cal. Having said that, though, oh, I'm choking, Cal.
Oh, jeez.
Having said that, though, I am a highly observational comedian. And sometimes the world over which I purvey is just so unbelievably stupid. And how can one avoid pulling off the fruit when it's hanging so low? 3 years ago, I was in a mall in Fort Collins. And I guess it was a relatively new mall, or being updated, because some of the stores were being prepared. And one of these stores that was under preparation was a certain retailer that sold athletic equipment called Dick's Sporting Goods. Now, that's not enough to be funny to me. Dick means Richard. It's Richard's Sporting Goods. That's completely understandable. However, they also put their website on a tarp covering the store. Folks, if I were to have guessed what their website was, I would have said dicksportinggoods.com, maybe Dick's Sports, maybe even Dick's Goods, which is a little sketchy, but I understand it. But when you're in a mall just trying to get a big pretzel and you see a sign in public written in big, bold letters that says Dicks.com, you're going to be pretty surprised. Like, what if they didn't put the name? What if they didn't put the name of the store? What if it was just the website? I'd imagine many people would be confused, no doubt. Like, they sell that at the mall? Boy, this is a hell of a town. Oh man, when the store opens, so many people would be so disappointed. That's a Karen moment, I actually believe. You're damn right I want to speak to the manager. I was promised one thing. Back in the good old days of 2015, I was really obsessed with staying in hotels. And it wasn't because my place was bad, although it was pretty bad. Let me tell you, if you live at a place called Marquis at the Parkway and you fucking hate moths, you're going to have a rough lease. It was like living with 50 of the creepiest roommates ever. Always lurking around, tweaking out in the corner, and always in my clothes. But I like holes because they're just not your house. And I think that's why some writers will check themselves into a hotel to get inspired, because it isn't their house. It's hard to get inspired in the same place you have to see every day. Like, you could live in the most beautiful place in the world, and eventually you're like, oh, it's that waterfall. Again. Okay, you've seen one unicorn, you've seen them all. And I need to go stay with 50 moths for a while. To be fair, those moths knew how to party. I don't think Hulu knows how to market their stream shows on Instagram, which is the most Gen thing I've ever said. But let me explain. You know those ads they play on Instagram in between your friend's story about their cat staring at a television and their story of a person you followed because they're usually mostly naked? You know, those ads. Well, Hulu has a show. I'm pretty sure you've heard of it. It's The Handmaid's Tale. And it's a really good show, but certainly not what you call a relaxing, happy experience. It's more of a show you watch when you're prepared to get angry enough to go to Pat Robertson's house and punch him square in the mouth. So not easy watching. And you'd expect the ads to reflect that attitude. But the ads on Instagram for The Handmaid's Tale? Hi, I'm Samira Riley, and you should watch Handmaid's Tale. And it ends. Samira Riley portrays a woman who escapes a re-education center, only ended up to working at a sex club for rich, powerful white men. And she greets the world like Hillary Duff saying, "And you're watching Disney Channel." What? That's probably the biggest tonal disconnect of any I've ever seen. Or it would be. It would be if there were not also an ad with the main character saying basically the same thing in the same friendly tone. But she was wearing her handmaid uniform. What? The only way it could be more disturbing if I were like, "Hey, I'm Elizabeth Moss. If I could use any word to describe this next season of Handmaid's Tale, it's sexy." And then she tears off her dress and she's in a corset with actual chains and a leash. And then who else grabs the leash but Pat Robertson? And he's like, "You can't miss it, folks." And then it's 3 minutes of Elizabeth Moss being whipped by Pat Robertson screaming, "Yes, Christ Daddy, yes." That'd be pretty jarring. Well, nowhere to go from there. That's been me. Good night.
Hey.
Yeah, I would say that jarring is among the things that is. May not be the top of the list.
Cal Sheridan, ladies and
Cal
gentlemen.
Sheridan, come on, let's go.
Cal Sheridan.
He's an amazing guy. And I always love it when he's on the show, by the way. Cal Sheridan.
The guys in graphics wanted to make sure we knew his name. Mike, we have a fun feature on tonight's show.
We do.
Right? This should be pretty fun. And folks are joining us to chime in. So this is the round robin. And the way this works is it's brought to you by Round Robin Real Estate. They've got plus size sales figures. And what we do is, don't forget, April was APR month. Sorry, it's just no reason to repeat that joke. But then
May is also APR month.
I'm going to say it one more time. All right. Well, anyway, Mike, the round robin works this way. We gave everybody a topic, and they're going to chime in with jokes based on the topic. This week's topic was, "That gig was so bad."
Yeah.
And I hear Ragu out of Batla, and everybody. Let me get the whole gang in on what they call the big. Look, there's big Mike Langworthy. We'll get everybody. I guess I'm off on my. Oh, there's Jessica Misra's here too. Hi, Jessica. Nice to see you. So the round robin of jokes, everybody. It's that gig was so bad. Mike, that gig was so bad.
Yeah, how bad was it, Chuck?
Oh, they said you'll go on right after we lower the casket. Mike, that gig was so bad.
Was it bad?
Mike, that gig paid in masks.
Yeah.
Where am I going to use those? Mike, that gig was so bad.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine.
They said, we just want to laugh while we ride our Pelotons. Mike, it was a tough gig.
Was it hard?
Mike, it was Ladies' Night starring Al Franken and Louis C.K.
Man, that was self-abuse.
Mike, it was a bad gig.
Was it?
Oh, they said you'll be paid in Marjorie Taylor Greene. Mike, perhaps you've had a bad gig or two in your experience.
I've had a bad gig. I've had a bad gig from time to time, but let's hear from some of the other people, and I'll chime in. So
Okay, I got one.
Jessica Misra.
That gig was so bad, it pinned Bitcoin.
Hello.
That gig was so bad, they changed their name from Nickelback.
Hello.
Whoa.
That gig was so bad.
Awesome. Hey, you know that was a bad gig that I had.
How bad was it, Mike?
Oh my God, this was one of the lower tier clubs. You know what I mean? All the servers had buttons that said, "I got HIV. Ask me how." You know what's a bad gig, Chuck?
When they say it's an open mic while skydiving, and you'll be opening for the shoot. Sorry, Mike. You were saying.
I like that.
How would I know it's a bad gig?
Well, you know it was a bad. Yakov Smirnoff wouldn't play it.
Oh no!
It was a bad job. All the servers were nuns at this one gig that I did.
Oh, I remember that one.
I
said,
worked a gig once, Chuck. I worked a gig once that was bad. It was so bad.
How bad was it, Mike?
Funny you should ask, because I just had an example at the tip of my tongue. I was forced to perform on a ducking stool. Oh, Jesus Christ. You went to a carnival? Come on, people.
Right?
Not all of us have your resume, Mike.
What? I'm sorry, Jessica.
Not all of us have your resume, Mike.
Jessica Misra, and this her last night on the ApocaLips. I worked a gig. It was so bad.
Mike, how bad was that gig?
Well, the green room had a rotting corpse with a sign around its neck that said, "This is what we do to guys who ain't funny."
I saw a gig that was so bad.
Ragu out of Batla. How bad was the gig that you saw?
We all jumped off the Titanic before it hit the iceberg.
Hello.
That gig was so bad. It was so bad. I got to the venue, and it wasn't there anymore.
Oh no!
Wow.
And I asked a woman, I'm like, "Is this the comedy club?" And she goes, "That comedy club has been dead for 30 years."
That gig was so bad.
Ragu, how bad was it?
Carrot Top had to come and save the show.
Oh no!
That is a bad gig.
Right.
Bad gig.
You know the gig is bad when they say Gallagher wants you to hold the watermelon.
That is a bad gig. There was a sign as you entered this one club I worked. I'm telling you, it was a bad gig, is what I'm saying.
What'd the sign say on the bad gig, Mike?
As a courtesy to other audience members, please do not laugh while the performers are on stage. One of the appetizers at the same club. I'm telling you, it was the same club. This was a bad gig.
What were the appetizers, Mike?
One of the appetizers was deep fried middle act ears.
Hello!
Oh.
Cal Sheridan has one. He said the gig was so bad, the person who was speaking for me was a mime.
Hey, I've done a pretty bad gig.
You
My
have.
gig was so bad, the bachelorette party stayed.
That is a bad gig.
That sounds hot. The hottest gig I ever worked at was Easy Cremations. Mike, we saw that place this week, and I just needed to rush to use it in a punchline before you
I
could.
know, and I'm glad that you did, because it's timeless. And I worked a bad gig once, Chuck.
Oh, what was it like, Mike?
Well, just before I went on stage, the owner handed me a pistol and said, "Save the last bullet for yourself."
Oh, I took a flight to a really bad gig, Mike.
You did.
And the pilot said, "This is the plane that crashed Buddy Holly."
God. That's a bad gig. That's not as bad as the gig that I had.
How bad is the gig that you have, Mike?
Well, just to give you a rough example, just a hint, okay? The name of the club was Honk If You Hate Comedy. They brought in Hell's Angels to dress the place up. That's the kind of gig.
Jeez.
Oh yeah, the sound system was actual cries for help. They asked if you wanted to be paid in cash or medical treatment. It was a tough gig, is what I'm saying.
Right.
The headliner was a mime who talked.
Right.
It would have been much funnier if Cal hadn't written a better joke first.
Right. Bad you know it's a bad gig when they say your headliner is Josh Blue.
Oh, hey, a little revenge at the expense of your bit. Now I wonder why you chose this bit. Now I know. There was a sign in the green room that said, "It's been 7,000 days without a laugh. Hashtag proud." You know, this is probably the worst gig that I ever worked, Chuck.
Really? Which was the worst gig you ever worked, Mike?
The gig was so bad, nobody asked who booked it.
Hello.
I did a gig that was so bad.
How bad was it, Raghu?
I was headlining and they turned it into an open mic.
Oh man, I did a gig so bad. They asked me if I'd take a check, and I said yes. And the owner said, "Here's my cousin, Big Natalia." Czechoslovakian girls are big, Mike.
Yeah, apparently they're now Natalia, which is interesting. So the owner made us all wear Kevlar vests. That's not particularly funny, but then neither was the gig. I worked a gig once where the audience had taken a vow of silence.
Oh, man.
That was a tough gig, is what I'm saying. Soon I would have to start going into actual stories of bad gigs that I did.
Well, I believe.
Do we have other entries from Jessica?
Any other final additions? Jessica, way to go! Thank you.
I got one more. Okay. That gig was so bad they paid in chicken tenders, and then they made me pay for the chicken tenders.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot. Mike, do we have a winner? I'm not sure what the person wins, but
I would say.
And there were a lot of good ones. How are you choosing?
I would say that you gotta slice it right in half and give him. Maybe in thirds. Maybe in thirds, but that mime.
We'll share.
Joke.
We'll share the prize with since everybody was so good. We'll
reward. Sorry.
we get the golden microphone. Yeah, every one of you gets your own virtual golden microphone. So enjoy that. Way to go, gang. Next
Raghu and Cal and Jessica all should share in the award. And
yeah, next time the mic doesn't work at your gig, just take this out.
I won this on the ApocaLips, and people say, "No way, you were on the ApocaLips? Oh my god!"
Right? Hey, Raghu, stick around and do some time. Raghu, will you
What's up?
Stick around and do some time?
I can't. I actually have to jump off. Yeah.
All right, buddy. Well, it was great to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in. And
all right, thanks, guys. Bye.
All right, man. Good to see you, Raghu.
Thanks.
Good to see you guys too. Bye, guys.
Where did we meet all these great comedians, Mike? I'll tell you what. I know we met them at Open Mic Comedy Show.
I know.
That's your show on Monday nights. Thanks for you really launched into a sales pitch there, buddy.
Well, I like to think of the show as selling itself, and tonight I've made it a point to make it sell itself. Anyway, open mic, 8 o'clock Mountain Time, and we have people that come in from all over the world to perform on our show, and it's wonderful. And just to name a few, Ireland.
Right, we've had comics from Ireland, Malaysia.
It's not actually a nation, but it's the plot of a lot of horror stories. And
Right, is that somebody from Bucharest? Right, we've even had.
Bucharest is a Romanian word for "I'm clearing my throat." And
Right, we had a comic from Texas. That's another country.
God knows.
May 23rd is going to be next week's Apocalypse is 7 Brides for 7 Apocalypse. It's the series finale. We're done on Sunday nights. We're going to wrap up this. I'm over the pandemic, y'all. So I think it's time to put away the zombie comedy show, and we'll return with something fun and something that is charitable, right? Because this is one of the best parts of our comedy shows is that we donate time, money, and attention to elevating connections. And Stacey Sanders, nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Nice to be seen. That was a great round robin, I just have to say. That was, I think, one of my favorites. So that was great.
Yeah, totally was.
You had to perform on a ducking stool.
And funny the second time, Mike.
Yeah, no. See, Jessica, they'd throw balls at you, and then you would go into the ducking stool if they didn't like you. Oh, Jesus Christ!
Right.
You know what? I'm getting in the way of your special time for elevating connections. I apologize. Just go ahead. I feel like I'm on a ducking stool.
It's all good, Mike. I love talking about what we do, and love that I get to do it here. And thanks to Chuck, we'll talk about all the great things you do for us here in a moment. So like I said at the top of the show, we reunite siblings separated in foster care. In fact, right before this comedy show, I had a meeting with some of my crew about summer camp coming up. We have a camp that we reunite the siblings at, and it's going to be great. So that's exciting. But what I want to talk about tonight is the other aspect of our programming is our youth voice, our empowering youth expressions. We're coming up on our 4th annual poetry jam on May 26th. And here's why that's important. We work with older youth who've emancipated out of the foster care system, oftentimes not finding any kind of permanent connection or homes or a place to call their own. And so we bring them together, create a community, and we give them an opportunity to speak their truth through spoken word, song, art, and thanks to Chuck, comedy. So on May 26th, we're going to have our 4th annual poetry jam. And what is so great about this one is we've been able to finally, after the pandemic, have in-person writing workshops. And what the kids have been lacking so much besides, money and a home is connection. And being able to be together with other folks who are in the same situation. And so we had a writing workshop a couple of weeks ago, and I was so thrilled to be with some of my kids, some that have been here, and they're not kids, they're older youth, but they're my kids. I'm sorry. And some of them who I've known for a while and some who are new to us. And the best part for them was getting to write their words, speak them to other people who get it. So the Poetry Jam gives them an opportunity to speak their truth to their community. So we're doing live stream from the theater, which means you can watch from the comfort of your own home. Next year, we're going to be in person, by God, but they'll be together, they'll speak their truth, and it's a really great opportunity to hear from them about what they need from their community and the things that they've been through, because I can't tell their story the way they can tell their story. So it's coming up, and I'm so excited. We have 2 more workshops. Chuck is helping us with that as he did last year. And I like to make sure everybody knows on the YouTube and on Zoom that Colorado Comedy Shows in the last year has been our single largest corporate donor. With all the work that they do for us and the corporate gigs and the private gigs and all those things, it's been amazing. And we have some really fun stuff coming up with Colorado Comedy Shows over the summer and more to come with that. But Chuck Roy is my angel on earth. Mike Langworthy is not so bad himself. And so I appreciate all. I like to give you a hard time, Mike, but I appreciate everything you've done, Chuck, and Colorado Comedy Shows for us.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I think Mike can agree that I'm a better person than he is.
Yeah.
A better person, I would agree.
Right. I tease Mike, you know that.
Me too. I tease the people I care about.
Right. He has a heart of gold. He took it from Caesar.
Wow. Again, Chuck. You go
Mike, what I've done there is I've done an old joke. Stacy, I put the wrong name here. That was supposed to be yours. I'm going to have to let those guys in graphics go.
So good. I know Christopher. It's fine.
Get down there and meet those
These
guys.
are our gifts for our VIPs. Catherine, your gifts are coming up in just a moment. We'll do the VIP gifts and then we do the general admission gifts. So you can't enjoy these. Stacy gets to, and then Stacy won't be allowed to enjoy your gifts. We enforce that emphatically. And Stacy, we're giving away the last few remaining childhood castles of Mike's collection. So
I'm honored.
This one, it was I thought a little unsightly, but Mike says it has a tremendous history and personal value to him, and he's glad to share it with our VIPs tonight. Mike, did you want to tell us about this chateau?
First of all, it's not a chateau.
I get these wrong all the time.
Yes, you do.
Is this a keep?
No, it's not a keep. It's
The fixer-upper.
It's a fixer-upper now, but it was originally the seat of government for a large section of Ireland when the British first went over and started to subjugate the Irish. And one of the reasons it's not in great shape is it's kind of a bad memory for the Irish. They came over and said, "Hey, we have gunpowder, you don't," and took over. So it was once owned by a Gregorian chant who really knew his way around a melody.
Right, and they say you can still hear the Gregorian chants in a ghost-like haunting. So enjoy your stay there, Stacy. Also got you red wine. Thought you'd like this, a Merlot. You know
me well, Chuck. Thank you.
Right, and then you can put these in
Merlot,
your.
and some are higher than others.
Right, so you can put those in your purse.
Is Merlot, and then another way. Shut up, Chuck.
This is Ed Smythe's neutrino carved open with a ring in it. So I thought you'd enjoy that. There was a wedding theme here, and then I saw the neutrino and was like, that's going to happen. Thought I'd get you a gay couple, Stacy.
Thank you.
They're generally very fun, so
they are.
you don't have to go to you don't have to go to the wedding. That would be really expensive.
I like how the gay couple is actually a threesome.
I should have pointed out it's a throuple. Only two of them got married. I can't tell you why. And then just a little more. We got some leftover weed, Stacy. So
my job is stressful sometimes. So
I got you some weed, and I know your job is stressful. So I got you this fella to do push-ups for you.
Thank you.
He didn't quite understand the instructions to start the swimming contest.
And I guess a little bit of wedding cake. Chef Scapone of the Colorado Comedy Show's virtual event center wanted to make sure you got some wedding cake and,
Kale cake.
A healthy salad. Got to have a healthy salad. So that I think is. Oh wait, we got one more prize for you. Every week, it's Catherine. Since you knew Ragu, I don't think you've been here for a bit. Jessica, we've been sending Mike over a barrel since the Niagara Falls episode. He went over Niagara Falls in a barrel, and then we had him go down the San Antonio River. He's gone over a Grateful Dead concert and a variety of other fun folks. So we'll just see if Mike can crowd surf this group at a wedding. So.
Does he need any encouragement?
You got to cheer him on, everybody, and let's just yay, Mike! I think you can do it, Mike.
Mike.
Mike, go, Mike! Yeah, all the way. Whoa! You're just a barrel. I'm gonna miss that bit, Mike. I don't know how it is.
I don't want to be ungrateful, Chuck, but that was not a very big wedding crowd. That's a sad statement for the couple.
That was my wedding. And those two people were friends of the bride.
Right. And then
But keep
Catherine, we
making
got
fun of me because I've had a great life.
Catherine, we got cool gifts for you as well. And those of you watching on YouTube, you can share in some of these gifts. First, got you a little cabin.
Oh.
You get to choose one of the two. I'm sorry I couldn't get you both. But you get to choose pink or the green one. So enjoy a little rustic cabin in the woods.
It's only fair to say that the green one has a basement, so it's not as small.
And I should say the pink one is where we grow Stacy's weed. That's for those I don't know that I've never known Stacy.
That's actually where the band recorded.
Yes, right up in Georgetown.
That was music from Medium Sized Pink.
Right. Also got you this puppy and or some glasses. You decide. You can have them both.
I need the glasses.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, virtual glasses fit virtually anytime you need them. And virtual puppies don't ever need to be fed, which is the best.
That's the best part about them.
And then let's not forget, I got you some tea and one wedding cookie. So enjoy one wedding cookie. And then
the place setting for the friends of the groom at my wedding.
Looks like Chef's Capone brought you a salad. So please enjoy your salad.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, salad. There's nothing as delightful as a salad.
He taunts me with, sorry, Catherine, I spoke over you.
Oh, I said it's so refreshing.
Right, he taunts me with salads all the time. So
it seems to think that Chuck has a weight problem.
Big fat guy, and who am I to talk about it during shows? We were unable to get Stephen Young here tonight. He had to, and oh man, I have the guys in graphics really screwed up. That's supposed to be your name, Jessica. I'm gonna get that fixed.
Let's.
I should point out that I'm getting fatter, and I didn't fit into my clothes last night, Mike. That was the number one. I had to wear a suit because that was all that fit. I have to go to the Big and Tall store. That's where fat people go to shop. That's it's not in the mall. Fat people are banned from the mall because we block up the aisles or we tie up the food court. There's no cool brand names at the Big and Tall store. You little thin people get Gaps and Polo and such. And we get fat people brand names like Knights of the Round Table. I'm a knight. I've seen this at the Big and Tall store, a jogging suit in a size 68. This guy is not going jogging, is what I'm trying to tell you, folks. And I like to think about things like how stuff like that gets made. That means somewhere at a factory in China, right? There's a production manager going, all right, Hop Sing, you start sewing and head that way. And Ming Lu, you start sewing and head that way. We're going to meet in the middle and pant leg number 1 is going to be done. It was on the clearance rack, which is no kidding. A jogging suit in a size 68 is going to be on the clearance rack. Like, what did they think? Fat people are going to be lined up on delivery day, going like, it's 9 a.m. Are you guys open? Are the jogging suits here? I've got to get to the gym. Right? The only way a person buys it is because they try it on and get too tired to take it off. They're like, I'm just going to wear this out. Hot takes, Mike, is what those are. Controversial.
So you would think that Karen would have a comment about the fact that the Chinese worker's name is Hop Sing.
Right. No
But it's
problem
the
with that.
fat shaming that she obsesses on.
No problem with that. But she's
No,
upset
it's fine.
about.
No, it probably is Hop Sing, but my daughter has been trying to lose that last 30 pounds since 5th grade.
Right. Who makes fun of fat people? All of comedy for all of time.
Usually fat people.
Right. Yeah, I think so.
They have a little bit of a weight problem, you know. I mean, I used to do jokes when I weighed more, where about if you threw a ball at me, it would start orbiting because I got my own gravity.
Right.
You know?
That joke has some gravitas to it, my friend.
I told people that my ass was discovered by Queen Isabella's sailors. Big. It's big is what I'm saying.
Right. Well, speaking of big, everybody, our headliner
His talent.
is a big talent. She's a big deal to us. One of the best people we met on the open mic show. Just a joy, right, Mike? We met Raghu through that show, and lots of wonderful comics from Chicago and around the world, and just always delightful and a special treat. And
I
when we
often
thought
can't
of
forgive people for playing favorites, but in this case, I do. Go ahead.
right, oops, I zinged the wrong person there. Allow me. You did great. Thank you, Denise. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Jessica Misra, our headliner. Jessica Misra.
Yay! Yeah, this show rocks. I love it. I just did a roast battle, and I won like a 16-person bracket. A
Yeah.
16-person bracket. Yes. Okay. It turns out there's 2 ways to be the biggest loser. You can win that show, or you can win this roast battle. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. I mean, honestly, Chuck, that's so funny. You could only fit into a suit. Can you imagine if you were like at the laundromat and like 3 piece? He's like, it's laundry day. This is good. Guys, they're making makeup for men. Isn't that weird? Right? They were like, I don't think men are self-conscious enough either. So let's fix that. It's because like now men can like fill in their beards the way women fill in their eyebrows. Can you imagine going home with a man and waking up with a boy? It's just like you thought you went home with somebody that had their life together, and it turns out he hasn't even started his life. You're like, this can't be legal. As officers like taking away, you're like, I'm sorry, officer. His makeup was perfect. It's like, what do you say to a guy that wakes up with no beard? Like, oh my God, you ruined my pillowcase. I don't know how to feel about that. So now I kind of understand why like men are like confused by makeup, because like when like women like do makeup, like it's not like green eyeshadow. If they don't understand green eyeshadow, they're not ready for a woman yet. Like we like change the structure of our face, like I've done it. And then like when we do it, the answers we give, like women give confusing answers. Like my boyfriend was like, your nose is different. And I was like, oh, I made it out of light and shadow. He's like, what? I go, I'm sorry, what? I feel like I've revealed too much. I haven't had many boyfriends. My friend who's a lesbian recently told me that she's had more boyfriends than me. You know how bad that feels? She's winning at a game she's not even playing. It's like when you're at a pizza parlor and there's that one game in the back and there's this high score you can never beat. But in this case, the high score is 2. And like, okay, I don't want to say I haven't had. There was this one guy I used to make out with, but I had to end things with him because it turned out he was a Nazi. Yeah, maybe he wasn't a Nazi. Maybe he just got a bad haircut. But either way, gross. Either way, I am not interested, sir. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 7 years, and I feel like in that time you could talk about like you've talked about everything, you know, like we've talked about all of our insecurities. Like, so he used to never go to the pool in middle school because he was like super skinny and he was like super embarrassed about it. And I totally got that because in middle school I was super embarrassed about my body because I was like super jacked. You know, it's just like I just looked like a bodybuilder right before the steroids. Like my body was freakish, but my neck was normal. Yeah, I was a former gymnast. Okay, we used to challenge Marines to pull-up contests and win. Do you know what that feels like for the Marine? It seemed bad. He was like, "Oh God, I've wasted my life." This girl in a leotard is beating me at the one thing I'm supposed to do. Yeah, I was super jacked. And you know what? It's like no one is that much of a feminist in middle school. You know, like you're never hanging out with your boyfriend and his friends, and he's like, "All right, now pick me up." Thank you guys for liking that. That's very fun. So my boyfriend, you know, like, you know, we hang out and stuff like that. We have sex, and sometimes like before the foreplay, he'll hold my head and say nice things to me, but a lot of times he's covering my ears. So you know that thing where you've said what too many times and you just have to be like, yeah. It does not work for dirty talk when they're like, "I love you, baby." You're like, yeah. It sounds like you're about to break up. Well, you know, you're just like, thank you for that. I love rom-coms. I grew up on rom-coms. They do not age well.
No.
I don't know if you've seen them recently. They do not age well because, you know, like recently, like there's this like bad rom-com I was watching, and the wedding vows were like saying all the things that he like liked about her despite all of her faults, and her faults were pretty glaring. I was like, oh, these are bad people. You know, he was like, "I love the sound you make when you floss, and I like that you're mean to the waiter, and I think it's really cool that you get off the bus one stop early accidentally and we have to walk more." When I first watched that, I was like, that's the peak of romance. I was like, I need to be worse. I need to be meaner so that I can find love. I don't know, dude. They don't age well, which sucks because I recently had a movie club and I was like, we should watch Failure to Launch, and then I was like, oh, this has problems. I don't know if you've watched it recently, but
If by recently you mean never, yes.
To Mike that might be recently. I don't know what time is to him anymore, as he is probably.
Well, I was there at the beginning, so I just ask any question you want to ask me. Just let me know.
We're gonna solve some murders with Mike. He's been around for some time. I feel like commercials and podcasts kind of like sneak up on you. Like you'll be halfway through a history podcast and you'll be like, they've been talking about Swiffer for like 5 minutes now. You're like, did I put on a Swiffer podcast? It's like getting like crazy. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. I want to try out some fun stuff with you guys. Okay. So I'm a dog. I work with animals. Do you guys like animals?
Yeah.
I work at a dog fighting ring.
I especially love them.
I'm just kidding. I'm a dog walker. I wanted to see if that would work with you guys. My friend like told me he's like trying to give people dog fighting jokes. I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't know if that's like what you want to be known for. But I work with dogs. I walk them, and sometimes like when I'm messaging the owner, however I'm feeling that day is how I'll say the dog was feeling that day. So I'll be like, Frank was pretty tired today. We didn't get far. Or I'll be like, Waffles was in a bad mood. All of her friends are fighting and no one's taking her side. Or sometimes I'll be like, Juniper is hungover today. You threw up on your couch. But don't worry, I cleaned it up. Really no need to tip me more. This one's on the house. I am half Indian, and you know, sometimes I get racism, and I think I prefer racism to sexism. Because like with racism, sometimes you can make somebody, you know, when they're saying you people, at least they see you as like a people. Like with sexism, you're just like kind of a bunch of holes, and like one is like moving and talking, and that's their least favorite one. You know, and like it's hard to, like with racism, you can like confront somebody and maybe you can make them see you as a person. But like sexism, like anything you say to a cat caller only turns them on even more. You know, like this guy was like, he was like cat calling me. He's like, "Hey baby, how you doing?" I was like, "This is my chance." Gonna make him see me as a person. So I go, "Hi, how are you doing?" And he goes, "Ooh, baby, I bet you like to know how I'm doing." Like he started hip rolling. You can't see it, but this is a perfect impression. And I was like, that did not work. I gotta change gears. So I go, "My dad just died." And he goes, "Ooh, baby, you in the market for a new daddy?" I was like, "How are you harder right now? That doesn't make sense." It's tough being mixed. I think it's really tough being a mixed woman, you know, because like anytime you go out to a meal with your dad, you look like his girlfriend during a midlife crisis. You know, like you're the girl that looks like he left your mother for, but also your mother is your mother. I don't know. And it's tough because like sugar daddies and dads act the same way, you know? Like they're always twice your age. They're always trying to split the meal. And you always hope that if you hang out with them more, you'll get some more money out of it. You know, it's like, God forbid you're introverted. You look like a mail order bride. The waitress is just like, "Are you okay?" Twice for yes. I don't even have a white dad. That's how prevalent this is. That's how. If I had a white dad, oh my God, can you imagine the what I would look like? I don't know. Yeah. I think crying is kind of like I walked in on somebody crying the other day, and I feel so like vulnerable. I feel like that's like when somebody tries to touch your stomach after a big meal. You're like, "Don't look at me." You know, I'm vulnerable right now. Okay, I'm gonna end on this. I've had so much fun at these shows. You know, they've been so great. They've made my pandemic so good, and I really appreciate you guys putting these on. Give it up, and Mike. I can't believe the last one is happening. I really appreciate it.
Yay, we appreciate you. We'll do more. We'll do more shows, just an uplifting theme, no more pandemic.
Yeah, this pandemic is a real bummer.
And
what?
we're staying with open mic. That show sparks joy. I really enjoy meeting comedians from around the world. And then
Yeah, but there's a little problem with the open mic. I don't want to talk about it in public.
Right. I know I'm not the
Since
host,
when?
I know I'm not the co-host, Mike. I know.
Guys, this is my set.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me.
I don't know if you guys remembered, but I was about to do my
That's great to say, but not.
You just got swept up in emotion. Sorry.
I did. I got swept up in emotions and trying to find a closer. But I got it, guys. I got vaccinated. Is everyone here vaccinated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, very cool. Love to see it. I got the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, which if you talk to people, I did not get the vaccine. The day, I mean, I thought it was perfectly fine. Like the day the news about the blood clots like broke, everybody sent me the picture of that man holding his chest.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even read the news yet. I was like, are you dying? Because I read this text way too late. I can't help you. You know, and like the only thing that was like worse than like people that were like, oh, bad Johnson & Johnson were the people defending it. Because they were like, what? Birth control causes way more blood clots. And I remember because it was 4:30 and I just taken my birth control. I was like, I cannot today. I was like, I might as well just have a cigarette. Let's play my card. Anyway, you guys have been great. Thank you so much.
Oh.
Awesome.
You know, when you said I'm going to close with this and thank you guys for doing this show, we mistakenly believed that
I'm still. I'm glad.
traditionally when people stop doing the jokes and start acknowledging the hosts, that's usually the end. So I apologize.
That's not how I run things here.
Yeah, Jessica's a star, Mike.
Roll, is it, Jessica?
Jessica's a star. She's, you know, she's gonna do it her way.
Yeah, I'm exploding in front of you all.
A real bright gas giant. Okay.
Hey, wait a minute.
Whoa. Well, that was very fun.
Yeah.
We should walk our customers out the door, Mike. And we do have one more tradition. We do a little sing along at the end of the show. So there's Mike, and we'll get you outside the apocalypse. How about one more round of applause for all the performers, including Jessica, Cal Sheridan, Ragu out of Batla joined us, and Catherine, thanks for joining us. Stacy, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And, you're very welcome. And we got just a little bit of comedy gold left. So feel free to take some on your way out. And next week we'll be doing comedy gold wrapped in chocolate, thanks to Chef Scapone. One more salad, I guess, for you before you go. I love Chef Scapone. He's going to help us craft a new show. This was my big fat apocalypse wedding. It was very fun. Jessica, you did a great job. One more time for Jessica Misra. And
That's Jessica on the right.
be careful as you exit. The neighborhood has gotten a little dicey, so you know we'll walk you to your car. These entrepreneurs got their PPP forgiven. That's the Paycheck Protection Program. You might have thought it was a different thing. Either way. And they've agreed next week to have a workshop on their corporate social responsibility statements. So, no, they didn't. All right. My ride is here. We got to go. Mike, when we see the guy in gold, we know it's time for you to do a sing along. And I forgot about this. One. If you've never been to our sing along, they're usually not this dirty. But you just follow the bouncing Golden Globe. Mike is part of a Golden Globe winning comedy writing team. And sometimes he carries this Golden Globe around, and sometimes he tosses it up in the air and leads a sing along. He's not allowed to know the words or the tune, but Mike, you might know the tune on this one.
I know the tune. I certainly have no familiarity with the sentiment.
Right. That's what I've heard about straight relationships.
Has nothing to do with being straight. It has to do with being incompetent.
Right. Well, Mike. Sorry, Mike. Time to lead the song. And the 1 and the 2 and the 3. Here comes the bride. She's had a great ride. went down on the best man for one last time.
We'll do that in confidence, Chuck.
Here
Here
comes the groom out of the bathroom. Best man put it in his can. Now it's time to get married. The bride kisses the groom. The groom kisses the bride. Hey, that's odd. Why do you taste like Clyde? The bride runs away. Her groom is really gay. Here's a way to save the day. The groom marries Clyde. Should you be wop? Should you be wop?
You know, there's a little
That's
double
it.
entendre going in